of course, away from that, as the globe commemorates International Widows' Day under the subject Accelerating the Achievement of Gender Equality, with a focus on bolstering land and property rights, the predicament that befalls Nigerian widows' rights and jeopardizes their welfare must be fully recognized and addressed. First recognized by the United Nations in 2011, International Widows' Day serves as a potent annual reminder of the struggles encountered by widows who have had their fundamental human rights and dignity violated all throughout the world. The United Nations fact sheet estimated that nearly 1 in 10 of the over 258 million widows globally live in extreme poverty. In 2019, the International Women's Society pegged the number of widows in Nigeria at 15 million, with emphasis placed on the fact that they struggle daily to survive. Joining me on the news to discuss this is Mrs. Olufunso Owasanoye. She is the ED, Human Development Initiative Foundation. Thank you for joining me. Widows often remain unseen, unsupported, and unmeasured in society. They face long-term struggles from their basic rights and dignity being denied. Now, why is that?
Well, thank you for having me. First, I would say that it's based on mindset of people in the society that once you are a widow, then there's this stigma like you cannot even inherit anything that is of your husband. And people just look down on you that you are nothing. So until we have a change of mindset, culture, and also for state actors, policy makers to put in place laws, structures, systems that will change this orientation, we continue to experience this. And widows, we always go through this phase year in, year out. That's why we are advocating that today everybody must know about gender equality, the right, responsibility of individuals, opportunities. It does not depend if you're a widow or not. Everybody have equal rights. So orientation of people have to be changed.
Now, talking about stigmatization, which of course you did mention, and also the role of culture. We know that some cultures actually, as practiced, usually subject widows to some dehumanizing, cultural rights or traditional rights. And it doesn't just stop there. I mean, it goes on even for the entirety of their lives. Do you see a situation where that is beginning to wind down, particularly across certain cultures in the country?
Yes, I see because of role of education and sensitization, I could see that playing out, that some cultures, was it not, I can't remember, but I knew Enugu passed a law for inheritance for women, and also some traditional rulers. I interviewed one traditional ruler in Ogun State concerning this issue. He was educated, he's late now, and a medical doctor, and he said that was his first priority on ascending this throne, that all this dehumanization for widows have to stop. That is working on it. So some people are being sensitive, and you find it even difficult to believe that this practice are women against women, and like it's a culture, it has to go on. But with education now, you could see some places now understood the concept that it's really cruel.
I mean, you said something pivotal here. You said many of those that engage in such are women, and you used the
Yeah.
phrase women against women. What is being
Yeah.
done to sort of nip this in the bud?
Well, it's going to these communities because it's in communities that it actually happens, to sensitize them, to make them to learn, relearn, and unlearn. Also to know the consequences of what they are doing. We still come back to their own children. So if we don't stop it now, it's a cankerworm that erodes the site.
Now, you talked about inheritance rights, particularly to landed properties, maybe, associated with the late husband. Is the government, both at the federal, state, and even local level, doing enough to ensure that widows have access to these rights? Bodies like NGOs also, throwing in their hat to ensure that this particular narrative is changing?
I don't think enough is being done in that area because you see lots of widows suffering even to get gratuity of their husbands. And in some cases, this goes back to men. In fact, this conversation is for even men that are still alive. They have to put their home in order. They need to put down some, even if you are not doing a will, because of the myth that if I write a will, I'm going to die soon. No, every property you have, it has to be in both names, not Mr. and Mrs. Gone are the days. Some other person can be Mrs. Your first name, second name must be there. Even if it's third name, must be there. So this one is form of advocacy to government, to both private and public sectors, what we can put in place to make sure that widows, they have equal access to inheritance of their husband. Going to the bank, not being able to just obtain the little change that is in his account, you have to go through this process of letters of administration that can take forever. All these governments must put measures or strengthen what is already in place so that these women can be helped. Because the ripple effect is on the children. When poverty sets in or they have mental health issues, they won't be able to take care of the children, and this one becomes delinquent in the society.
All right, quickly, Ma, I'm still going to dwell on properties and, of course, inheritances, particularly of the late husband. On the issue of advocacy, too, what do you think can be further done on issues, as basic as next of kin? For instance, there have been cases where even the names on next of kins in the banks, it's not enough for you to lay claim to the monies, in the accounts of the deceased. I understand that there are other documents aside, the next of kin, that the deceased needs to have filled to sort of grant family members, the living wife and the kids access to his finances. What do you think can be done, particularly at that level, to ensure that people are aware? Because not so many, are aware of this.
Like I said earlier, every woman, you must educate yourself. You must know what works, what doesn't work. While a widow is crying with one eye, other eye, go out for what am I going to do? Ask questions. In my office, free of charge, we help genuine widows obtain letters of administration free of charge. Once your name is on next of kin, then there are some forms we help you get from probate that you are going to fill in. There could also be executors there, which are some family members or the children. So we take you through that process on how you are going to get it out. It's even easy now, unless the banks want to refund. But once your name is there as next of kin, then NGOs, other civil society can help assist you in how the process is going to be smooth. That's where education is key.
All right, Ma. Just in 30 seconds, my final question, and that has to do with empowerment of widows. Quite a number of them suffer in poverty, once the husband is gone, especially if such a woman is a stay-at-home wife who maybe, isn't skilled. I would like you to speak on that, on the aspect of self or personal empowerment.
In my organization, we do that annually. I think each widow, once it has happened, you've accepted it. Question is, next step, what can I do to empower myself? Then you reach out, thank God for the internet these days, or ask questions, go to faith-based organization you belong to, some NGOs, ask people questions to direct you. Some NGOs do it free of charge. And I know Lagos State too, in most of the local governments now, different skills, which are also free of charge. I know very well in Yaba side, from just 2,000 and you are good to go, hairdressing, anything that you want to learn. So it's for you to determine that. I won't just go begging, knocking doors, help me and all that. Yes, that can be outside, but you need to build resilience, have something to do to support your children and boost your own confidence too.
All right. Thank you so much for being on the news with me, Mrs. Olufunso Owasanoye. She's the ED Human Development Initiative Foundation. Once again, thank you for your time on the news.
Thank you for having me.